The bang, bang, bang. Shall we do a 3, 2, 1? Let's have fun.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
1.
Let's have fun. Should we? Was that? So you were in time with me just then?
Yeah.
On your okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. It's just deviating from our normal 3, 2, 1 music is just a bit scary.
It freaks me out.
I was just touching base.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
Shall we do 3, 2, 1 music again just to 3,
Okay, let's go
2,
back to normal.
1 music.
That was good.
Wow, that's a hell of a delay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new edition of the show Music Rules. It's a show where we talk about musical topics, and we have music-related discussions with two music-related guys. I'm your host, Fenn, and this is your other host, Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, Jack. Oh,
Oh,
sorry, I just was worried someone was leaving with my car.
oh my God. And when people say my name, hi, Fenn, it sounds like a form of punctuation.
Oh my goodness. That would explain why I look at you and I just see a little dash or a dashing young man.
And when I was looking at you just before, I saw your face plastered with a smile, completely frozen for a moment or two, and it made me think that what I'd said was very, very enjoyable to you. And what a nice feeling on a Thursday morning.
Yep. A little bit dusty, not too dusty, banking some episodes, not
Dusty.
too many.
I keep hearing this term dusty.
Yeah. You don't vibe with it?
I mean, it's fine. I just feel like I've never heard it until this year, and now I keep hearing people talk about being dusty. I'm like, what?
I really like
what,
it as
did
like
you
a hangover.
stand under dust particles for several hours?
Were you
no,
perhaps
it's a good.
lying on the floor?
You know what? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of like inoffensive.
I'm just like, is this
It doesn't mean you're really hungover, but
Is this a new word that I haven't heard of before? Until this very year.
2023, the year of the dust.
Yeah. Dust 3. All right.
So we're talking about a band today that is not very dusty, presumably. So basically the story about how I found this band, because I'm much more interested in stories about how people come across music than music itself sometimes. But I was in Canberra with Basil's Kite and we were touring, and Isaac, the drummer, he was like, you have to put this song on, you have to do it. And I was like, I don't really want to that badly. And he's like, yeah, it's called Songwriter X and the Skeleton Band, Fell in a Well. And I was like, not really in the mood. And then he kind of talked me into it. You know, I'm the driver, I'd been driving a while.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to just put on whatever. I was in a bit of a zone.
Yeah.
So I relented and I played this song, and instantly I was just so struck by how unique and how kind of uncanny it is.
Yeah. It definitely has that feeling of like outsider art, like something where just somebody is so completely doing their own thing. Doing their own thing. My apologies. That it just becomes, its own genre unto itself in some ways.
Yeah, I think the way that this band kind of gained notoriety is there was a guy called Internet Historian, I'm pretty sure. He's like a YouTuber, and he found Songwriter X and the Skeleton Band. I might have said Magic Band before. Songwriter X and the Skeleton Band. He found them, and they have this really iconic green screened video for Fell in a Well. I mean, they've got lots of great iconic videos for like most of their songs, but
You'll just have to imagine those videos in your mind's eye, dear listener.
yeah, this is audio only, unfortunately. But yeah, look it up. It's fantastic. It's so over the top. You can tell that this guy, I think his name is, what is it? Xavier Calvera. He's got like a kind of a good home studio setup and maybe like a good setup for like doing video production. And he has a way of doing things, and he does it impeccably every time. And yeah, and it's so fun. It's such fun music. I think that's kind of the main theme of this episode, probably, is the fact that it's really unashamed, really sincere, really fun music.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Can't wait.
Maybe before we play a song, I'm just going to quickly talk about Xavier. So Xavier seems to be the kind of main driving force behind this project. His full name is Xavier Calvera, singer-songwriter born in Cuba, came to the US at 14 and started on rock and roll. Rock till you die. That is Xavier's Twitter bio.
Wow. That's awesome.
Extremely strong Twitter bio.
It's a great Twitter bio.
Yeah. So maybe we'll open this up.
Actually, can you shut up for 1 second? I just want to... Oh, yeah.
See, that's the kind of Skeleton X rock and roll energy that we're channeling for this episode.
Yeah.
Telling people to shut up so you can chew loudly into a microphone. This is a sort of power that you only acquire by doing 19 episodes of music commentary.
That's right. This is the only
Climbing
music
those.
commentary podcast where somebody loudly chews toast into the microphone. Actually, there probably
That's
are
right.
others.
Do you know that we're the 131 most listened to music commentary podcast in Japan at this very moment? I'm an absolute freak for these statistics.
That is
We were
so
like
funny. I
we
know
were like
why
17th.
as well.
Yeah, I know why also. But we were like 17th for a little while in Australia. And then we just got blown off the charts completely because I have no idea how it works. And then we have remained Japan's 131st most listened to music commentary podcast.
It's funny because I know of one person in Japan who's definitely listening, which is my brother. Shout out. So it's so funny, like just him single-handedly, I think, is making it.
Carrying this.
to number 131.
I got maybe like 2 Japanese friends who could be listening.
Yeah.
So maybe all those people together
There's 3 people.
makes the 131st most popular podcast in Japan.
Wow.
Yep. So thank you, our Japanese friends. And I just have this to say to you. Go menasai. I think I just said sorry
Yeah.
in like formal language. I was grasping for my Japanese knowledge, and the first thing I could come to was sorry. Cool. Without further ado, let's play Fell in a Well by Songwriter X and the Magic Band. 3, 2, 1, Fell in a Well.
Because of you I fell, you pushed me down. I'm in a well, I need a ladder, just drop it down. You look at me like I'm a total stranger, but can you see that I'm in real danger? Throw me a rope and please don't let me drown. Hey, such a butterfly, can you look me in the eye and tell me you don't care for me? Hey, such a butterfly, if I'm in disguise, maybe you will cry for me. it down. I'm in a well, just need some help. Please send it down. But not like that, like I'm a total stranger. You're toying with me, and I'm in real danger. Not like that. Please don't let me drown. Hey, such a butterfly, can you look me in the eye and tell me you don't care for me? Hey, such a butterfly, if I'm in disguise, maybe you will cry for me. Butterfly, come back into my life. Say you're gonna be with me. Hey, social butterfly, gotta make things right. You know I'm gonna fight for you. Hey, social butterfly, look at me in the eye. Tell me you do care for me. Hey, such a butterfly, I don't need to die. Say you're gonna live with me, my little butterfly.
There's two great things about Songwriter X and the Skeleton Band's song Fell in a Well.
Yeah.
The first great thing was watching the video for the first time
Oh
by
my
myself. The second greatest thing was watching you watch the video for the first time on screen.
I did not realize you were watching me. I just had this like really delighted look on my face the entire time. It's just so delightful.
I've got two monitors, and I had you on one and the video on the other.
Nerd. It was so wow. That was so great. How do I describe how I feel about it? It was just so well. Maybe I can just quote the song. The moral of the story, or this is the video, not the song. All's well that ends well. Just don't fall into one. The final
you can
text.
tell.
It just seems like it's so fun, and it's just like this guy and all of his friends just having fun and like doing their thing, or you know, all contributing to this guy's crazy vision.
Yeah. I love there's so many amazing characters, and I'm going to try not to talk too much about the video because this is primarily a song podcast, but there is so many fun characters in the video, and my favorite one is the guy in the fedora, the kind of like the
old guy, with
dude.
no costume on.
Yeah,
Who
with
is
no
he?
costume and like a leather hat. I kept trying to like figure out what his role was in this video, and he sort of helped to pull out who I presume is Xavier,
Yeah.
or Songwriter X with the mask on. He pulls him out of the well and then kisses him on the forehead. It's so cute.
Maybe it's his dad or something.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
does
that
seem
makes
like
it even
I saw a
sweeter.
lot
It's
of the
family
same
affair.
last name in the credits, and I assume that those kids that are there are his kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it seems like it's just like this guy's whole extended family. Just
Yeah.
they're either operating the camera or they're like in skeleton costumes. Or it's so
Yeah.
funny. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like for the listener, the video is kind of has two main scenes. There's the well inside the well, which is sort of this like really really wild like kind of image of like stalactites. Is it stalactites? Are they the one that hang from the roof?
Yeah,
oh,
either
stalagmites.
stalactites or stalagmites. I don't know.
I think it's the
difference.
mites, because the mnemonic device I remembered was stalagmites, they might fall.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not going to bother checking that, so don't trust anything you hear on this podcast. It could be wrong. But yeah, it's just this Xavier sitting in this well with stalagmites around, and then the other one is like him and all these friends trying to pull him out of the well. And they're all dressed as like the Grim Reaper in skeleton outfits, except for our friend in the fedora, in the leather fedora.
What a legend.
Yeah, who's wearing...
He's the only
like
human.
He's the only human. It looks like he might be wearing a piano slacks, like piano key slacks or something.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
We should talk about the song, huh?
Yeah, let's go back to the song. So
it's beautifully melodic. Like every part of it is just filled with melody and sounds really nicely produced, like all the instruments.
Yeah, it is quite well produced. If this is Xavier producing it, then well done. You you got all the gear, and you know how to produce songs and
you know
videos
how to work
really
it,
easy.
man.
You know how to work it.
You know how to do it.
Yeah, I think probably the most striking part of this song for me is, and probably just this band in general, is Xavier's intonation and Xavier's affectation while he sings.
Yeah,
it's like I guess like maybe being born in Cuba, maybe English is his second language. I don't know. It's kind of, you sort of presume that. And the way he sings, it's very like warm and kind of throaty, if that makes sense.
There's also
It's
a
like
lot of auto-tune on the vocals.
There is a lot of auto-tune. And I got into a fight with Isaac about this because I was like, oh man, the auto-tune. And then he's just like, no, there's no auto-tune. It's just a beautiful man singing. No, there is a lot of auto-tune.
But it is also a beautiful man singing.
Yeah, of course. It can be both.
Yeah.
It can be both. There's points where the harmonies, like in like the chorus, it has these like thirds or just simple triads, and they're so locked in and auto-tuned to the point where it almost sounds like a synth or something, you know? It's these really
I
really
love
funny.
the melody that's like, hi, social butterfly. It's so nice.
Tell
Like,
me you don't care for me.
I mean, this definitely seems like something where people are like maybe it went viral because people are like, ha ha ha, this is funny and this is like so weird or whatever, and like the song is quirky and the guy's voice is strange, like but it actually is like a really good song, like, and without a shred of irony. Like, I feel very sincerely that it's like a really nicely written song. I mean, this guy clearly has like a lot of musical talent.
I feel like there's it's like a cultural shift that kind of happened around this time, maybe, like, because this video and song definitely fit into kind of the Tim and Eric sphere.
Right.
It's this thing that's a little bit like, you know, it's, like you were saying earlier, like it's almost outsider art, or it's not really what you'd usually get from musicians.
Yeah.
And it's, instead of like a kind of point and laugh sort of thing, it's more of like, I just really appreciate the fact that it's something different, and that
definitely
people are out there. And this is kind of like the positive thing about, or one of the positive things about people being able to get their own gear and record and produce their own stuff, is people who are a little bit different or do have a different taste or different voice or different whatever, they have the capacity to produce and share their wonderful music.
Yeah, that's like the utopian like version of the abilities of the internet, is like, it's this egalitarian thing. Anybody can make a song like this, upload it to YouTube. Like literally anyone can do that, like if they wanted to, if they were dedicated and spent the time to record and make this video, and they can share it with the world. And then I guess
Yeah.
the flip side of that is like there's a lot of musicians out there that are maybe cynically trying to make, well, I don't even know if I want to call it cynical, but just like making kind of generic music, trying to make
Yeah.
money or trying to go viral or whatever.
Of course. Yeah. And this is really if you want to achieve that, this is maybe conversely one of the best ways to do it is to be incredibly authentic.
Yeah, is to be uniquely yourself.
Yeah. And I think I got it a bit wrong before. It was Internet Comment Etiquette is the YouTuber that unearthed this song. And he has a pinned comment here that says, just want to thank everyone for uploading this shining beacon of positive comment etiquette. Let us all remember where we were when we found the most proper and respectful comment section on YouTube. And the feedback here from everyone is just really nice, and they're saying nice things to the musician.
Yeah.
And the band seemed to really appreciate it. So it's sort of like maybe this marks like a bit of a shift in how, cringe culture and things like that. I was going to mention this in the previous episode, but it didn't really come up. But there was a YouTuber who did kind of like cringe content where they kind of mocked just random people and things on the internet. I don't want to say who the YouTuber was. They're not on the platform anymore, but they were a very toxic person. And they did a video where they talked about our very own Doomsday Student.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. And it was a really weird thing for me because I would go and watch this Doomsday Student video disappearing and really, get a lot from it. And then one day, this is back when YouTube had dislikes. One day I went to it and it had like 1,000 dislikes and all of these really, really hateful comments.
Yeah.
And it turned out that some YouTuber had just sat down and then been like, look at this video. This is one of the worst things I have ever seen. Like, seriously, imagine doing this and releasing it on the internet. This is so cringe. And like,
oh my God.
And then all these little minions went out and they just abused our friends in Doomsday Student.
It's so weird. It's so funny when like something that's clearly not designed for like the masses, like somebody just will like grab it and be like, look at this weird thing. It's weird and it sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why don't you just, whatever, celebrate that everyone is different and we live in a world of, 8 billion people and, not everything is the freaking Beatles. And probably actually you may feel that way about certain Beatles songs. They're pretty weird, actually.
Revolution
so
9.
Maybe that was actually a bad example for me to use. But
No, I think it's correct.
Not everything is
should...
Bruce Springsteen.
I was thinking like when I think of those people, I think of like what's that song? It was not your fault but mine. It was your heart on the line. Yeah, I imagine those people kind of being like
really into
the front line of like musical fascism.
Yeah, it's so weird, like, because there's just, like everybody on the internet has weird ways of expressing that they like or dislike something. It's like there's this like cringe, like, and like this thing sucks, man, like snarkiness. But then there's this like overly like positive, like almost toxic positivity, where people are like, oh, I just want to like love Star Wars, and like if you tell me that it sucks, then like that's then you're being so mean to me right now, and you should just let people just like whatever they like without criticizing it. So it's so funny, like, and tricky to find that middle ground where like you can be critical of things or think deeply about things or analyze stuff, which is what we do on this show, even though we definitely err towards positivity, because I feel like if something is negative, like if we have negative feelings about it, essentially like we don't exactly want to spend an hour talking about it.
Yeah, of course not.
I'd say that's the long and the short of it.
Aforementioned YouTuber who just wants to make mean content.
Yeah, but not that I have an issue with negative criticism, but I don't know. It's tricky to find the right middle ground of like because you don't want to be, you don't want to be too much of a hater, because that is no way to live, and it is joyful to find things that you like and to celebrate things. And then you don't want to be too much of like a, just like I don't know, I don't want to just like be like, oh, I can't wait for the new Barbie movie. Ooh, I can't wait for the new Barbie movie. Ooh, I can't wait for the new Hot Wheels movie. Ooh, like, I don't want to be like a child without like a, just like, oh, look, new shiny thing, blab.
Yeah, I feel
not to dismiss all of my friends who have said that they're looking forward to the Barbie movie, because I'm definitely going to watch it.
Looking forward to it, yeah.
But just the marketing is like it's so incessant that it makes me feel.
I feel like
bad.
I feel like that's the way that people, like, that's the way as consumers they want to keep people in that sort of state where you are just sort of just perpetually looking to purchase or do the next thing and get a bit swept up in marketing and stuff like that. It's like they want you in this infantile state, I guess.
Yeah. It's like you're either like these are the two extremes, but like you have these like permanent children who just, like, it seems like they're not thinking about anything, very deeply at all. Not to be dismissive of people who like Star Wars or whatever. Like, I also like all that stuff. I also watched all the Marvel movies and whatnot, and mostly enjoyed them. And then, but like you have, there's permanent children, and then like you have these people who are just like, all they do is just like be haters all day and like feel so superior, and it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. But you know what's funny is like we've been both those people at some point in our lives,
Of course, yeah.
It's like especially as a teenager, I was so freaking judgy of like.
Yeah, I was awful people. Like as a teenager, just like being like, oh, you like that band?
Yeah, and then you come
and it was
back
like
to
a
pop
band that I'd liked
like
a year and a half before.
Yeah, exactly. But that's totally it. Like growing up, you just get this like, you're just shedding everything and learning, and yeah, it's like it's a nice thing, but I feel more in touch with those two elements the older I get.
Yeah,
it's good. It's one nice thing about being older.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you get older, you realize that not everything is so black and white, I guess.
Yeah, and you don't want to be a part of culture wars anymore. You see people write things on the internet, and you're like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, disengage.
And go stare at the sun.
I really feel like the way forward is to just not be on social media.
Yeah, probably. But then how else will we promote our wonderful podcast?
How else will I make my weekly Instagram story post about music rules?
Yeah. So that was Fell in a Well. And tell you what, we still got one song.
Completely off on a tangent.
No, it's good. This is all part of it. It's because it's definitely sort of a big reason why I picked this is because it's so uncanny and it's so different.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. They got T-shirts for sale. That would be a really aesthetic shirt to own.
Buy it now.
Their album, this is the best thing ever. Their album is called Life is Dope.
That's great.
Isn't that just the best message? Life is dope.
I mean, that's what it all boils down to.
Yeah. I think like if I could just quickly divert back to some of the conversation we're having before regarding authenticity, things like that. This is like people find this stuff and it is like beyond authentic because it almost appears untouched by, extremely online culture and irony and things like that. And it's almost like the whole thing with cringe culture, which I think we're kind of getting past now. Now it's things that are cringe are kind of, we're just looking at them as more authentic and more like, because of the fact that it's kind of socially maladjusted. I don't know how else to say it. Socially different.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even it. It's just like, I feel like Songwriter X has I mean, I'm sure he has a Twitter account, but I'm sure that he's not, he's not clicking on the trending topics. That's what I feel like. Or like,
Yeah.
he probably has an exciting and vivid life outside of the computer. And then he probably logs on and he uploads his videos and maybe he promotes them a bit, somewhat. But I feel like that's the extent of it. I don't think that he's necessarily using the internet as this tool of mass communication or aside from his own little bubble.
Yeah.
There's a show that everybody should watch called Paul T. Goldman. It's by the director of Borat 2.
T. Goldman.
And it's about a guy who basically he entered into this marriage in which his ex-wife was kind of scamming him. And then he wrote a book about it. And it's about... it's so hard to explain. It's a TV series. He plays himself in all of the dramatic reenactments of what happened. And it's just this really interesting, unique character. And it's impossible to explain, but just look it up and it's really takes some crazy twists and turns about somebody kind of, narrativizing their own life. And it's definitely somebody who is a very sweet person and I don't know, kind of shows the effects of the internet on somebody a little bit as well.
Oh,
anyway,
cool.
Sidetrack.
I like that.
Again.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, a lot of media kind of reflects this kind of the way that we view ourselves and the way we view being real and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I want to check that out. Paul T. Goldman.
Yeah. By Jason Walliner.
I typed in Paul T. Goldman and nothing came up. Yeah. Well, should we get a bit bony?
Let's get
we
more
chuck in
bony.
bony, boys?
I'm ready.
Hey, mister, say oi, oi, here comes the bony boys. Hey, mister, a band of brothers, they all love their mothers. Hey, mister, will you look ahead, here comes the bony boys. Hey, mister, clear your head, they gonna make some noise.
Bony boys gonna come for you. They got you all figured out. Bony boys gonna come for you. They gonna leave you no doubt.
The bony boys, they live in a cloud. The bony boys, gonna do twist and shout. Oi, oi, they are the bony boys. Bony boys, oi, they are the bony boys. Hey, mister, they have no flesh, they are only bone. Hey, mister, you are their guest, you better play along. Bony boys gonna come for you, they got you all figured out. Bony boys gonna come for you, they gonna leave you no doubt. The bony boys, they live in a cloud. The bony boys, gonna do twist and shout. Oi, oi, they're the bony boys. Bony boys, oi, they are the bony boys. Bony boys gonna come for you. They got you all figured out. Bony boys gonna come for got the bony boy that lives in the cloud. Got the bony boy.
Bony Boys. Ignite.
I love this song so much. I think this is my favorite Songwriter X song.
So
It's
cool.
just like the title is like something someone would do, like, I don't know, just like with the fact that it's BOI instead of BOYS.
Yeah.
Boys. It's
Bony Boys.
it's so freaking cute. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to read out the song meaning from
Yeah. I was just
the
I sent that
website
to Fenn while it was playing.
radio.callmefred.com.
So, the meaning of the song Bony Boys from callmefred.com. The song is about a group of people called the Bony Boys who only have bones instead of flesh. They are a band of brothers who lost their mothers, and they love each other a lot. The Bony Boys are going to come for you and make noise with their music, but they live in a cloud and are very mysterious.
Ooh. It's such an intriguing kind of description.
It just keeps stacking things on top of other things.
There's so many details to this. Like they all have no mothers, but they love each other a lot, and that's nice. So they're kind of like a found family, a chosen family, if you will. And then they're also musicians,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Obviously, we think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And
That's
they
the
live
best
in a
thing
cloud.
you can do, really.
Yeah, the best thing is to be a musician who lives in a cloud and is very mysterious.
Yeah, that's what I aspire for.
Yeah.
I love brother, mother, other. It's like one of the most like fun things about this band is a lot of the rhymes kind of just tumble in a really obvious way.
Yeah. You got to do
It
it. You
just
got to
seems
go
like-
for the most clean rhyme.
Yeah,
None of
it's
these,
always
like,
incredibly
half rhymes.
clean. Yeah, no half rhymes. It's just I feel like it's something that's written very intuitively, and it's kind of just released in that sort of state. So it sort of captures a lot of the in the moment kind of, and it's probably how they managed to be so prolific. Is they just can kind of have an infinite well of creativity to mine. Hey, I just mentioned a well. That's pretty funny.
Whoa. Just don't
an
fall
infinite-
in one.
That all's well that ends well.
Imagine if you fell into an
don't fall in
infinite
one.
well.
That would be like, I'll copy and paste that for like an hour so it sounds infinite. Yeah, it's cool. It's just nice music. Nice
Yeah,
is
the
probably
chords
the
are
word we're
good.
using a lot.
I was trying to figure it out. There's like definitely some non-standard like chords, some stuff that doesn't just fit into the major key. Like I think it goes to the flat 7 at some point.
Hey, mister, say oi, oi. And then what's that chord? D?
Boom, boom.
We are the Bony Boys.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 flat 7 2 1.
Yeah, it's so nice. And then I think at some point where it like modulates for a moment to the minor via a secondary dominant to the relative minor. Just like nice, really
That's the-
classic songwriting techniques.
But some of the melody for this is really interesting. Like it's really non-standard. And I guess same for Fell in the Well.
Yeah.
Like some of the melodic ideas. It was like, oh, Bony Boys, they live in a cloud. Oi, oi.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the Mixolydian thing.
Yeah.
So
It's really fun.
I was thinking this. I was thinking we should probably talk about. We should maybe assume that there's not complete knowledge of modes for all of our listeners, but basically, a Mixolydian is like the normal major scale, do re mi fa sol la ti do, except the T is flat by one note. Do re mi fa sol la ti do.
Yeah. We would call that. Oh, and I'm trying to remember my solfege at uni. If it would be te or tar or something.
Right. See, I never learnt solfege.
But the point is, yeah. I mean, you can hear the sound of it. Da 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 da
Yeah.
da 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 da.
Yeah, it has like kind of like a bit of a bluesy feel to it in some contexts.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like-
yeah.
I love Mixolydian. I used to
I
really
do
kind
too.
of not be into it that much because every single blues player would just do the same Mixolydian scale. But
I feel like the Mixolydian, it has this slightly different feel to the blues because it doesn't have that minor third. So like it has this, I can't even describe it, but just this real Mixolydian feel to it.
yeah, it's
These
kind
are
of
called
like
the church modes, by the way. If you look it up on Wikipedia, it'll have like all the specific details if you're interested. Church modes. Lydian is a major scale with a sharp fourth note. So instead of do re mi fa sol la ti do, it would be do re mi fa so do re mi fa so. Yeah.
La-ti-do. And there's a bunch of kind of like audio examples that people use to learn these modes. I feel like maybe you did this too, but for me, like Lydian was like The Simpsons.
Yeah. It's also a good way to
And
sing a
then-
tritone.
Yeah, or like if you're a musical fan, Maria.
Maria, I just
And then if you're a if you're a what's that song? Do 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 do. If you're an Usher fan, that's a good way to know a flat six. Do 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 do.
Really, that's
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a really hard mode. But anyway, that's all kind of ear training stuff. But yeah, it kind of helps to, I guess, understand some of the music here and what we talk about. Yeah, I really like the Mixolydian here. It kind of has like the feeling it gives me is like one of like, it's almost like peace. Like it feels very like, how do I describe it? Like stable. It's kind of like, I feel like Songwriter X knows something that I don't, it's just,
Yeah.
I think maybe that's got something to do with, maybe it's got something to do with the seventh or the flat seventh being like the first seven in the harmonic series. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
No,
But
no,
yeah.
it's true that it has this very pleasant sound to it. I don't know. Yeah.
It's good. And
Nice.
yeah, it's about skeletons. And I'm presuming it's the skeleton band who
That it's about.
Songwriter X plays with. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
it's
it
got this
seems
really
like a-
funky kind of.
Yeah, it's very 2000s. It's very 2000s to me.
Yeah, this like really positive kind of like disco vibe. Absolutely, everybody in
in the whole wide world. And in a way, this is kind of like a similar message in a way. It seems just like a testament to his friends, the Skeleton Band.
Yeah, all the Bony
And-
Boys in the whole wide world.
Yeah. And my favorite standout moment is when he sings A Band of Brothers at the very end. It's sort of like these like lyrical additions to the last few lines where he's just
Yeah.
repeating things. And also something I only just noticed, all these songs have like two guitar solos at once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
It's always a
They-
guitar duel.
and it really like it harmonizes really nicely, and the two melodies always work really well together. I meant to talk about that in Fell in a Well, like
Yeah.
just these sick guitar solos, and then like another guitar solo starts, and you're like,
Yeah.
damn, how's that going to work? And then it really does.
Yeah. But I also love like they're not that in time with each other. Like they're in time with the song, but they're just kind of like, it's like a guitar duel it seems very off the cuff.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
not like through composed, which is cool.
Yeah, it's just doing it by ear.
So we're doing things different this time, and I'm so glad we did, because we've been talking for about 3 songs time, but we've only done 2 songs. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we're wrapping up our section where we talk about Songwriter X, and we're going to debut the song that I wrote in the style of
Wow.
Songwriter X.
Can't wait.
Yes. I didn't get time to auto-tune all of it, so you'll have to use
No.
your imagination.
Okay.
But this song is called Sometimes You Find Yourself Alone, Other Times You Find Yourself Alone with Your Friends.
Whoa.
It goes for 8 minutes.
Oh my God.
And so just get some water,
Strap in.
make sure you're strapped in, ready to go. And shall we do a 3, 2, 1? Sometimes you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone with your friends.
Yeah, we should.
All right.
3,
3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
Sometimes you find
Sometimes you find yourself alone, other times you
with your
find yourself
friends.
alone with friends.
Every now and then when the going gets tough, the tough gets going now. The light inside begins to melt, but the pain inside must subside. Look inside of your skin. There's a spooky man lying within. Sometimes you find yourself alone. Other times you find yourself alone with your friends. Sometimes you find yourself alone. Other times you find yourself alone with your friends. Breathe deeply, hold on tight, 'cause the life gets harder from here. Hold on, my friend, this is not the end, the beginning is near. Look inside of your skin, there's another spooky man lying within. Sometimes you find yourself alone. Other times you find yourself alone with your friends. Sometimes you find yourself alone. Other times you find yourself alone with your friends. Oh, you lonely boys, put your hands in the air. Oh, them lonely boys, put your hands in the air. If you're a lonely boy, then I can see you. I see you too. I see you too. Oh, the lonely boys, put your hands in the air. All right, here we go. Sometimes you find yourself alone. Other times you find yourself alone with your friends. Sometimes you find yourself alone. Other times you find yourself alone with your friends. inside of your skin. There's another spooky man lying within, because sometimes you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone with your friends. Sometimes you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone with your friends. Sometimes you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone with your friends. Sometimes you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone with your friends. Sometimes you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone with your friends. Sometimes you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone with your friends. Sometimes you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone with your friends. Sometimes you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone with your friends. Sometimes you find yourself alone, sometimes you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone, sometimes you find yourself alone, sometimes you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone, times you find yourself alone, times you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone, times you find yourself alone, times you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone, other times you find yourself alone with your friends. I'm so sorry, Fenn. I actually had the volume off. Do you mind if we just go through it one more time?
Yeah, let's do it. 10 more times. Oh my god, it's so funny. That's so good. I feel like you've done this thing before where it's almost like you write a song purposefully as like an endurance exercise for the audience. I think it happened the first time I saw you played that song called Old Bill.
Ah, yes.
Where it just is the same thing over and over, and it just like I think it just changes key up a semitone every time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so funny. So
This has somehow even less development than Old Bill.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
But
funny
an
because...
extremely sick guitar solo for like 7 minutes.
Oh, thanks so much. I might go and put in a second one over the top. Now I've noticed that Xavier does it.
Yeah, well, it was quite a lot of harmonies in the guitar solo, so it's probably
true.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Old Bill, because both Old Bill and this song have really like nice social ties for me, like nice sort of memory things. So
Yeah.
I used to sing Old Bill to my brother while he was playing Halo to annoy him.
Yeah.
And that was like a fun little family thing. And I almost just produced the song and released it because I thought it would be funny to mess with my brother and release it, make it a full song. And then this theme, the Sometimes You Find Yourself Alone, this theme, I wrote that about 8 years ago when I lived in a share house in Wollongong.
Yeah.
It was a great place where heaps of musicians lived there. It was a really cool environment. And I had this loop of me singing that with like a guitar in it. And I used to just like wake up in the morning, set my gear up, and then hit the pedal, and then it would play the loop, and then just leave the house and just do other things just while it would just play in the background. Sometimes you find yourself alone, over and over and over and over again.
Other times you find yourself alone with your friends. I thought that note was like a mistake at first, and then I was like, oh no, it's not. That's just how the melody goes.
Yeah, it's a weird melody. I think initially I played it with like a minor 4 to justify the dun, because it's the aforementioned what's it called? What was the song? Do da do da do
Yeah,
da.
yeah.
It's
Usher,
the
yeah.
It's the aforementioned Usher interval, the minor 6, which doesn't fit diatonically in with what's going on. But yeah, I thought it would be funnier just to leave it as a little bit off.
Yeah. I like that it's a bit off. It has a kind of hypnotic quality, that loop. I can fully see how you would just like, you could just sing that over and over in your head.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll see if I can dig up the old loop for it, because if I have it, that would be fun to add into the pod.
Nice.
But yeah,
We can end with that.
yeah, for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But
20
yeah,
minutes.
basically my mission for this song was just to have fun and kind of be daggy and funny.
Yeah.
The verses were
Success.
just completely improvised, like kind of positive affirmation stuff.
Yeah.
The pre-choruses were a little reference to the Boney Boys.
Very nice. We love those
Spooky
Boney
Man
Boys.
lying within.
Yeah.
And yeah, I tried to stick to simple rhyming schemes, and yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, and also the drum beat, because the drums are so clean on every Songwriter X thing. I just got like a YouTube stock drum beat that's at 100
Very good.
BPM and just let it run over and over and over
Just
again.
let it
So,
roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yes. Oh, and I also auto-tuned my voice for the first part, but not the second, because I think it got really tiring.
I liked
But-
the little backing vocals as well. They're like,
The-
do that, do
Ooh,
that.
sha-la-la, ooh. Yeah. Oh, right.
feel like
Well,
I can
for
see,
the Lonely
like-
Boys.
Exactly. Oh yeah, the Lonely Boys.
Yeah.
I can see exactly how like you would have written this song. Like it reminds me of how you were writing all the different songs about towns. Like, I can just imagine you doing the one layer of the backing vocals and being like, okay, next layer, let's go, and just doing it straight away.
Yeah. I was waiting to use the bathroom. I was just sitting in a towel, and my housemate was in the bathroom, and I was like, well, I need something to do. So I just sat here in this very chair and recorded that song.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
I feel like it
good.
took probably roughly the duration of the song to also make the song.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, the only thing I tracked the whole way through was the bass, and you can tell because there's like some dud notes and things in there, but I just thought that was funny.
Do you have a bass now?
I do have a bass, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. The one thing I wanted to mention chord-wise is like the whole time it kind of follows a similar progression to Boney Boys, like the 1 flat 7, and then I think I go to 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the pre-chorus, goes like 1, 3, 4, 5. And that's just a reference to the fact that, yeah, Songwriter X will just kind of put in these really random but pretty chords in like a rock song.
Yeah.
Like in Boney Boys, particularly that chorus. Boney Boy's gonna come for you. Da, 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 oh, Boney Boy. It just goes in like a harmonic excursion, seemingly out of nowhere. And that's a cool little idiosyncrasy of this band. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
Cool. So that was everything. And we finished banking our episodes for the day. So we're going to go eat some food probably and
Definitely.
do some stuff. But yeah, if you enjoyed this podcast, that's 5 stars on Spotify. Do it
Would be nice.
Do that for me. Review on Apple Music. Do that for Fenn. I represent Spotify. Fenn represents Apple.
Yeah, I represent Apple.
And what else can you do? Follow us on Instagram. Tell your friends. Go and celebrate music, and go and listen to Songwriter X. Because it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sweet.
And buy our album, which maybe we'll have out by now.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe it will never come out.
No, it must. The people must hear these songs. I reckon a staggeringly small percentage of our listeners actually get to these excellent songs that we're creating.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? All right.
So much work as well.
It's so much work. But it is so good for the creative spirit. All right.
Yeah.
See
true.
you.
Bye.
See you, bony boys, later. Music rules.
Bye, Bernie boys. Music rules.